You like how we did the timer for like one time?
I know.
I don't even know where it is.
I
should have put it in the, oh, here it is. Oh, you know why? It's because I took the batteries out to put back in my remote so I can watch Friends. Is that light good? Should we angle a little bit more? Just so that
Do we look better over here?
Well,
yeah,
I just
we
think
do.
that
We look
this
better that way.
lighting without that, yeah.
We want my drinks real quick.
Yes.
All the liquids.
Coffee. Testing.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, is that the bug thing?
What bug thing?
Ew, we can't have the fly thing. Hold on, we gotta fix this. We gotta go back.
Okay, we'll restart this.
Hold on. There, I got it out just a little bit, just enough.
You're just gonna delete this one. Alright.
Guys, my kid got flies in the house.
We get it? We're good? Oh, here, I can move back over this way a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry, gotta get the giggles out.
Good amount. I wanna try this, make sure we got good.
Mine's really good with the cookie stuff in it.
It leaked. Your life is falling. I tried to. It was too late.
Welcome. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Namaste, motherfucker. Okay. Welcome to the Start to Be Great podcast. I'm your co-host, Kimmy.
And I'm Anna. And if you're anything like us and you're sick of using fear as an excuse to not truly live your life, then you're in the right spot. We're here to tell you that you do not have to be great to start, but you do have to
Start to be great. So today we're going to talk about dating, expectations versus reality in dating, and what we're looking for, etc., etc. We have a lot of topics to talk about today because this is a big one.
Yeah, we thought it'd be good. There's a lot of like myths and rumors and stuff on the internet, trying to teach men how to be better for women, and also like trying to teach women how to be better at dating. And so we just thought we would
Give our opinions.
give our feedback and maybe kind of help you get a little bit more of a realistic, non-cosmopolitan answer. So we're gonna tell you some funny stuff.
Yeah.
You might not like all of it, but here we are.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously interested a little bit if you're here listening. So what do you want to talk about first?
I think that maybe we should talk about our experience dating. Like just like a quick like synopsis, just so that you understand like who we are and like where we're coming from. I'll start.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm currently in a relationship, and I have only had one serious relationship. I'm 34. So my one serious relationship was 2.5 years long. It ended in 2010. So I've been like permanently single like forever, like nothing really more than like 3 to 6 months since then. Yeah, like I've dated plenty, just nothing that like, you know, I really was thrilled about. And I think I've still throughout that process like learned a ton, because for a while I thought I was really picky. And then I think the truth of the matter is that I was just really good at knowing what I wanted, and I figured out very quickly if you weren't that. And so I've been able to narrow it down to like really get to the nitty gritty of it, but like I may not be like the best when it comes to like friendships and having boundaries, but like I've been pretty clear on like my expectations in a relationship. So I think that's kind of where I'm coming from.
That's cool. I've been pretty unfortunate in the past with dating.
Everyone says that.
Everyone. I mean, I think everybody has bad stories, but I've had 2 serious relationships. One through the beginning of college, and then one that was 5 years long, and we moved in together. That was the big serious one. I think after my 5-year-long relationship ended, it took me, I took a long time to figure out like why exactly it ended, what changed in me while I was in a relationship, what I wanted in my next relationship, and like just I think in my long-term one, I evolved more as when I get into a relationship, I put all myself into the relationship, and it's more of a we rather than a me type thing. And I think throughout, I started that relationship when I was a sophomore in college, and it ended after graduation. So like there was so much that happened during that one that I changed as a person, as you should.
Oh yeah, college.
But I didn't actually take time to assess like what do I want individually outside of the relationship. It was always like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and it wasn't more of like, what do I want? Like, am I growing as a person? And I didn't even recognize that, we were growing in separate paths. I have a lot of love for the guy. We're cool. We don't talk, but I mean, I hope all the best for him. But now I've taken the time to do the self-reflection, to do the introspection of like, what do I want in my next relationship, and who am I, and what am I going to bring to the table? So that's my background. I've done a lot of dating since, and I've kissed a lot of frogs. I have.
Yeah, I think though, like, there was a point in time where I was just like not interested in dating, and I think that it like, because I got bitter, like, oh my god, back when dating apps were first around, it was what, Plenty of Fish and OkCupid.
Oh my god.
And for a woman, I mean, it's a real like ego boost, because you log on and like you literally have like
inundated
hundreds of likes, messages. It's like insane, because it's like there's no way to filter, and it was just like every dude was probably just like, oh, she's kind of cute, swipe. It's ridiculous. So it was fun for like a minute, and then you're like, oh my god, this is so much, and it was like stressful.
Should I read my, I wrote a poem about Hinge. If you know me, you know that I've recently been into writing shitty poetry. I'm not a poet. I don't know what I'm doing, but I call it word vomit, because when I have like words, they just come out whether I want them to or not. And it's like the more you try to hold them in, the more it's like, it's like I'm going to come up. So I wrote a poem about Hinge. So Hinge is like the app that's meant to be deleted. That's like their slogan, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Hinge, the app meant to be deleted, because you're supposed to find your one and move on.
Okay,
all right, so here's the poem. It's called Hinge. Creative.
Of course.
They say Hinge is supposed to be deleted, but in all of these conversations, my words are repeated. Not sure why these apps are exhausting, but what's there to do? I'm single in Austin. And when I wrote this, I put like a bunch of laughy faces. Like it's the apps are exhausting. They are like I hate them. It's constantly, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? Do you want to meet up? No, I just literally, you asked me what my favorite color is. I'm not ready to meet you. Like, I don't know.
It's weird, and I think we go through cycles, like when you are single, and like, it's like, you don't know how to go out and how to find someone. So you're like, I feel like I have to go on a dating app, but then you get frustrated, and then you're like, you get to a point where you're like, I'm deleting this, I'm so sick of it, and you like stop responding to people that you even like were interested in, and you're like, I'm just done. And so you go through like a cycle, and then you're like, I'm not going on dating apps again. But then you get to the point where you're like, well, I'm not meeting anyone in real life, and you're like, how do I do this? So, yeah.
Because where do you meet, like, as an adult, where do you meet people, right? And it's like, where I spend most of my time is in the gym. And so it's like, well, do you want people to approach you in the gym? Or are you there for a reason?
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past, and it's like, okay, well, and when you're younger, you have school to go to, you have classes, you're going to see the same people at a specific time, and you have common interests. But when you're an adult, okay, so you have commonalities, but when you meet those people, is that somebody you want to date? Like, do you want to date somebody at work? No, I don't want to date somebody at work. Well, my work is at the gym. So it's like, I don't want to meet somebody for it to potentially go bad and then it be disrupting my place of employment. And so it's like, okay, so do you have to go to bars? I'm not a person that goes out very often. And if I do,
you want to date someone that goes out to bars?
Exactly.
No.
So it's like,
nobody.
Where are you meeting these people? So it's like, it's harder. It changes the game a little bit for me, at least.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of like mindset too, because I personally know a lot of people, like I get it, like you don't dip your pen in company ink, like it's the same.
Don't shit where you eat.
That as well.
Yeah.
But I know plenty of people that are married or like have long, serious, happy relationships with people that they work with. Some of them are not directly working with them, but they're indirectly, and they make it work. And so like, who's to say that like I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little far-fetched to assume that you're gonna, I mean, as we get older, like, are you really that incapable of having an amicable ending to a relationship that's gonna ruin your job or whatever? Like, we're all adults here. You just start going to a new gym if we break up. There's solutions. No, but anyway, I mean, I don't think it's going to be as dramatic. I think it's more likely that it could work out well. Yeah. But definitely it's like a mindset, and you're not the only one that feels like that.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, if you're just feeling it out, like, I don't want to, you know, like, when I get on dating apps, I see like 10, 20 people from the gym. So it's like, how many of these people am I going to, you know, like, that's a lot.
It's weird.
It's a lot. So I don't know.
We're both slamming some coffee in the middle of the day. It's fine. Yeah, I think that I'm obviously like very grateful right now to not have to use those. Hopefully, I don't have to use them ever again.
But since we're talking about things and our expectations, do you have like set expectations for when you're looking for a partner to date?
So, I think that's one of the biggest thing that my serious relationship taught me. Like that last one that I was in, the only one, I learned so much about like what I thought a relationship, because I never really had a healthy relationship modeled for me. So I feel like I have to do a lot more work to figure out what I am supposed to do and like how to better myself to make that a reality of what I want. But I was like modeling things off of like movies and TV shows, because that was like what I was taught basically.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I knew. Growing up with a divorced family, and like just all my friends' parents at that time were just like, they were all divorced. Like I didn't grow up with friends that had like this cute happy family where the husband and wife like talk to each other. It's just like, I didn't see it. It's like I didn't know what it looked like on a day-to-day basis. So my expectation versus like reality was to basically stop having expectations. And to really just focus on being my best version and treating someone how I want to be treated in return. Like, that was kind of like what I learned. Like, focus on that. Like, if I'm behaving a certain way, like, would I want my partner to do that? And then another thing that I've really done, and this kind of goes into the third topic we were going to talk about, was I made a list of like who I want in my mind and on paper. And I like declared to the world and to like, you know, I joke with my boyfriend that I manifested him. It's like super hippie, hippie shit. But I swear it, I like wrote my list of what I wanted in a man, and he's everything on it.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy, because I met him shortly after I wrote that list. And, you know, humans are flawed, and like he may not do all of those things 100% of the time, but he's got them, or like qualities that are related, like he's doing all the things. So it's like not expecting anyone to be like that, but having standards and boundaries and things you want, and waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
I think the problem is you try and change someone to be what you want, and realizing it's like once you realize that like you can't make someone do something that they're not going to want to do. Yeah.
You said you modeled things after TV shows. We brought this up earlier, and I think I want the Lillian Marshall from How I Met Your Mother love. That's what I want. I want the, you know, that's your person and you found it and you want to share everything with that person type, you know, relationship. But you helped me when I was getting super frustrated, going on all these first dates and not vibing with them, and me not giving them a second date because just not vibing. Like, I was like, I know what I want, but I don't know. What you helped me with is I thought I knew what I want. You're like, put down like what you want quality-wise in a list. And so I did that. I was like, I know what I want. I want blank, 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 blank. I want somebody tall and smart and funny and handsome. And I had all of these things. And you were like, okay, we'll break it down further than that. You know, like, you know, like, do you necessarily want somebody taller than you, or do you want somebody that, you know, is powerful and has a presence, you know, that kind of thing. Like, not just like basic general qualities for what I want, but why do I want them? And that really helped me figure out, like, I may not be what I think I want, may not be the actual like what I wanted. Like, it's like I wanted more broad I want to feel protected. I want to feel taken care of. I want to feel, equal with somebody, because I'm a large person and I have a presence, and you have to be there too. Like you can't just be my shadow type thing. You have to also be there.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped me a lot. So if you're, struggling with figuring out, or you're frustrated with your current dating pool, maybe that would help you, because it really helped me to write out a list of what I wanted and then go through that list and figure out what the reason behind wanting that was.
Yeah. Well, and like, I've seen so many girls, it's a pitfall I think that a lot of women fall into, is so many women are like, I want a tall guy. Like my old roommate, she was like, I really want a tall guy, like, because I like to wear heels, and I want to dance, and if he can like spin me and dip me and stuff, like that's a big turn on to me, because it's super important. And I'm like, okay, but there's plenty of excellent dancers who are not super tall. They're strong. They know how to spin and flip a woman without being crazy tall. And I'm like, so if they could still do that, would that bother you? And she's like, I guess you're right. And I'm like, and what if they don't care if you wear heels? Like, does that bother you if they are still like being there for you? And like, what if you have a tall guy that never wants to go out in a situation where you can wear heels? Because there's plenty of people, I'm just saying, like, I was just trying to help her, like, see that, like, you're just looking for something, and maybe it's not even what you really care about. And it's just I don't want to use the word superficial, but, like, it has something behind it. But, yeah, you really got to dig for it.
Yeah, and be open to...
Yeah, you have to be open-minded.
So different than what you think.
Yeah.
But what is the one primary quality you look for in a significant other? Like, what is, like, the most important thing to you?
I think the most important thing to me, it's so hard to narrow down one.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously you need to be able to, like, be understanding and communicative. But there's so many different ways to do that it's like, it's also like very vague, you know? But I think that something that's super important for me is to have someone who's masculine. Like, if you can like build something with your hands, if you were a protector of like women and children, or like elderly, or like people that can't take care of themselves, if you like have integrity and do the right thing, like it's so sexy. And like, to top it off, like I don't even know how to say it, like just working with your hands, or like being like an actual like guy's guy, like that's very attractive. But like also it goes back to what you were saying, like you like to be like protected and feel safe. Like, I don't know any woman, and I'm like, people tell me, they're like, oh, like, yeah, like I'm glad that you found Miz, like he's a big guy. And I'm like, they're like, not that you would need someone to take care of you, because you're tough and like you carry your gun, and like you could take care of yourself. And I'm like, oh, I absolutely can, but I am so much more attracted to him knowing that I don't have to.
And you can let your guard down.
I'm capable, but like I want to be surrounded by someone who is masculine, so that I can be more feminine. Because I can be masculine. I've done it for a long time, but I don't want to live like that forever. And like, there's a time and place. So that's mine.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I think mine is kindness. Honestly, mine is I'm very big on being good to people, even when you don't have to be, because my mantra, I say it almost every single podcast, but it's, you never regret being kind. And the thing is, like, with kindness comes everything else that I cherish. Kindness, you have patience, you have intelligence, you know when to speak when you should, and you know when to not speak when you should. Like, to me, it's like a respect thing. Like, if you are kind to not only me, but to everyone around you, that means you're bringing positive energy, you're bringing in the kind of space and the kind of energy that I want to be around. So mine is all like, are you kind to me? Are you a safe space for me? That's mine.
Yeah. I think that, I feel like the same way when I define masculinity, that man is comfortable with himself enough to also be kind to people. Like, because like, I'm so sick of the toxic masculinity bullshit. Like, no, who fucking made that up? Like, no one gives a shit. Like, masculine men are attractive and needed in society.
Mm-hmm.
And when they are not overconfident and they just are like secure with themselves, they take care of people and they're good humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they allow that safe feeling, and that's so important.
Yeah, I like both of those.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I can definitely see both sides.
We're gonna talk about some. We did this thing. We Googled. Do you want to talk about the questions?
Yeah,
Do some votes?
that's good.
So we Googled like the funny.
This or that type of question.
Yeah, like what do you think of these things? Because we thought it'd be fun to like just get, Anna and Kimmy's perspective on some weird shit.
And I'm gripped by titles that are like 15 questions men are afraid to ask women. And I'm like, what you? Oh man, I almost said a bad word. That's fine.
That's fine.
You wimp, ask.
Yeah, so we are specifically avoiding anything sexual for this.
For this one, at least.
For the sake of Kimmy's father. We'll warn you if we're gonna get into it next time.
Expect some alcohol.
We're gonna stick to some relationship things. So we kind of just Googled things, and we're gonna just kind of rip through some answers.
I'm excited for these.
So, what is the first thing you notice about a man?
The first thing I notice about anybody is your energy and your presence, like your body language, how you approach people, how you walk into a room. But if you're talking specific quality, it would be teeth, smile. I am a big smile person.
Yeah, no, when someone like doesn't smile with their teeth, I'm like, what do you have?
I know, exactly. Exactly.
And like I have braces, so I totally get that, but definitely worth investing in because the smile is important.
I like a crooked teeth. I like crooked smile as long as your teeth are clean.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking
Hygiene.
about. Like, yeah, a little crookedness is not going to kill anybody.
I find it endearing, honestly.
That's what everyone said. So I had like a snaggletooth up here, and literally I've had people call it a snaggletooth, which that was a selling point for me for braces. But everyone was like, I like your smile. Because like the rest of my teeth weren't crooked. And I actually, it's funny, I liked my smile more. I just didn't like that tooth.
Yeah.
But now I have like weird smile lines that like I didn't have my whole life because my smile changed after braces, and I don't like my smile as much anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works?
It is.
But teeth are super important.
I love a good smile.
Yeah. I think presence for sure. That's definitely like your energy, how you carry yourself, your shoulders are back, you're standing tall. I think that one of the things that I pay attention to is eye contact. I'm a heavy eye contact person.
Me too.
And like I've had conversations with people and they're not looking me in the eye, and I'm like, hey, I need you to look at me. You don't have to stare at me, but like I need you to look at me every turn away everyone. If you need a break because you're uncomfortable, go for it.
No, I am highly impressed. If you can hold a conversation and not break eye contact with me, I'm like, all right, you're powerful. Let's get this.
It says something.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, sorry if you're autistic. I understand that, like, you can't, like, that's uncomfortable for you. Or if you're like super introverted, that might not be your thing. But it says a lot to me. Actually, it was really funny. I was listening to a podcast, the Real AF podcast with Mike Glover, who is a veteran, and he said that they do this like men's training, and he said one of the last things that we do is we put two men that have never met each other in a room, and they sit them in chairs and they make them stare at each other for 20 minutes without, like, you can blink obviously, but you cannot look away. And what he said they all cry.
What?
And he's like, they cry because you're staring at this stranger into their eyes for 20 minutes in a room full of no one else. You're just completely alone. And it like makes you feel that connected to this other human being, right? Isn't that wild?
I want to try it.
I know. Next video upcoming. And then can you see
we are taking strangers.
and crying. Oh yeah, we should do it too.
Yeah, because I can look at your eyes for 20 minutes and not be like.
I don't know if we just weren't talking and just like staring.
Oh no, we could try it. You ready to cry?
No, I don't want to cry. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
But I just thought that was so interesting.
Man, I want to try that.
It just tells me like how powerful eye contact is.
It is.
really tells you, like, it helps you feel connected to people.
I mean, you look at it, prey versus predator. Predator's eyes are forward facing. That's why humans, our eyes are forward facing. Deer, they're on the sides of the face. Horses, they're on the sides of the face. Like, eye contact is everything. Like, if you're like shifty eyes, that means you're constantly looking for danger. If you're like, look at me in my eyes, like, that's like challenging.
That's probably why I like it, because I like masculine men.
Hashtag 8 challenger.
Yeah.
Enneagram. Yeah, what's our next one?
What is one thing you would change about men?
About men. Let's blanket it. About men.
Yeah, you're all the same.
One thing I would change is, and this is of course not the case for everyone, but in my experience, men are very solidly, this is the way it's gonna be done, and I don't want you to tell me another way that it can be done. You know, they're very like, my way is the right way, and we're gonna do it this way. And I'm like, hey, how about this? Or maybe this could be a more efficient way to do this. And if you can't take that criticism or even like have like consideration for a different opinion or a way of doing things, change. Like, that would be mine.
Okay. I would like men to stop farting. I knew as soon as you were going to drink your coffee, I was going to
put that down.
Men, stop farting in front of us. I swear it. Just go to walk 10 feet away, fart, and come back after. Like, don't crop dust me either, but like, I don't think it's sexy. If you want me to keep having sex with you, you should probably not be disgusting like that.
Okay.
I don't think it's not cute. It's not funny.
I
didn't grow up with brothers, so like
I grew up with 2 older brothers.
Sure, and you still don't like it.
I don't. No, because it's like, that's what my brothers did to me. Do you want to be one of my brothers?
Right.
Like, don't.
I think my biggest thing is like, I like there to be like a little mystery between, like, you know, like there's things that you don't need to know that I do, that you can assume that I do, that I'm not going to talk about with you.
Yeah.
That's me. I know not everyone's like that, but yeah.
Is there something you think that girls do a lot that you would change?
Ooh.
Like, if you're going to flip the question.
I think that this kind of goes into another one of our questions. So, but I don't like that women like the saying that you're fine when you're not. I don't like the games that women do. Like, I'm fine. It's like, say I'm not fine, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Or like, say something else. Like, don't lie, because then either the guy is going to be like, okay, she said she's fine. Like, I'm going to take her word for what it is. Like, that's what she's telling me, so I'm just going to listen. Or he's going to assume that you're lying, and then he's going to pry, or it's just going to cause tension because you're not actually telling him. Like, I think women should be more direct with what they want and their needs, and find a way to get it into words. And I'm not always the best at it, but at the bare minimum, when I'm upset, I can at least be like, I am upset. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I don't know how to say it or whatever. But I want you to, I'm not going to like say that I'm fine, or like if you still go and do this, I'm going to be upset with you. But you can still go, but just know that it's going to bother me. But I will just tell you the truth. Yeah. I don't know. That's my thing that women should change. That. What about you?
I don't like when women make themselves small, and we do it a lot. I don't like when girls feel intimidated in a space and they make themselves smaller to appease, you know, the comfortability of other people. I want you to be big and loud and messy, and I want you to be your authentic self. And if people can't accept that, then they either need to change their mindset and get over it, or you don't need to be around those people. Yeah. I think, like I said, I'm a big, loud, messy person, and I want you, and if you're quiet and reserved, that's completely fine, and that's your choice, and like, that's fine, but I don't want you to make yourself small or think that you need to, because that's what society is pushing you to do.
Yeah, like, so one of the questions we had is, why do you say you're okay when you're not? This is guys asking women, like, why do you say that? And you answered it pretty perfectly.
Yeah, I get pretty fired up with it, because I think like, society teaches young girls, they groom them from young age to be small, polite, little quiet beings that are there to serve, you know, men, basically. And it's like, I think that should not be taught. I think you should be taught politeness. I think you should be taught kindness and patience. But I think we're taught to be this nurturing, maternal, little perfect wife from the time we're born. And it's like, no, we're so much more than that. We're so much more powerful than that. And I think since we're groomed from so young, sometimes we say we're fine when we're not, just to not disturb the peace.
Yeah,
and it's
no
like,
confrontation.
no,
Because you wanna...
be confrontational. If something's bothering you, say it's fucking bothering you. If you want something done a different way, say you like it done a different way. And I think that we're not taught that from a young age. Like, hopefully I will have a daughter in the future, and she's going to be probably called a bitch. You know, like you know, you have like these little, like if a girl is assertive, they're called a bitch. You know, like if they're bossy, that's what they're called, bossy, not assertive, like dominant. Men are applauded, you know, for being a leader, alpha type A person, and women, that's alpha type A is bossy or a bitch or like somebody you don't want to be around. You know, like no,
that's true.
Be everything you want to be. Be assertive.
I mean, when I was in the Marine Corps, literally, I mean, bad thing to say, but literally they're like, you can either be one of two people. You can be a bitch or a slut. And I was like, wow, that's my only option? Because what it meant to be a bitch was to, well, one, not sleep with dudes, which, obvious, but was to kind of be like, they wanted you to like be a dick. And you wouldn't, if a guy was doing it, he wouldn't be considered a dick, but like to be opinionated and strong and not let people give you shit, but then nobody liked you. And so I was like, I choose bitch.
Yeah.
But also, it's like such a horrible thing that those were my two options. I was 18, and my Marine Corps leadership was teaching me this, and I was like, cool, fun times. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think that even people that don't, you know, like a lot of people are trying to like, they have been for years, trying to raise their kids without like the stereotype, like the boys were blue and the girls were pink. People have like kind of gone away from that for a while, but you can still tell in behavior, like little toddlers are like boys are celebrated for being like wild and like rambunctious, whereas like, hey, don't do that, you're a little girl. Like,
girls that are polite are like, oh, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
I was a hellion.
I can see that.
Sorry, mom and dad. Thank you for letting me be myself. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like you posted on your story the other day about men. You know, like, I don't want to raise my son like that. You know, but you know, like that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that because it was like, well, if somebody's coming at you with a knife, are you gonna enjoy the man that steps in front of you or somebody that cowers behind you?
Yeah, so the I'll just give a little background.
Yeah.
It was a guy was telling a story about his friend, a woman friend, was having a baby, and he's like, oh, like, congratulations, like, and I don't remember how he started.
He said, I was raising my son, you know, talking about raising my son.
Yeah, and she's like, we're not gonna really like follow that like gender stereotype and like raise him to be like a protector or whatever. And this is like on an unborn child, and he's like, okay, well, let me ask you this. And he said, if you leave a restaurant with your husband and a mugger comes at you and your husband, would you rather him protect you and stand in front of you or hide behind you and let the mugger stab you first? And she was like, well, that's not fair. That's not the same. And he's like, it is exactly the same, because if you raise your son to not protect people, then he is going to be the person that you don't want your own husband to be. And so it's like, it doesn't make any sense. I think it's just people trying to be PC and make others happy, when the reality is like the dynamic between men and women is already perfect. Like, there are sure flaws, but like, you know, with current society, because things are so different. But like, the reason we're so different is because we mesh well together. Yeah. And I love that.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because I'm not saying that, you know, men shouldn't be taught to be powerful and they, you know, like, I don't care if guys play with dolls or action figures or sports, you know, like, I don't care. Like, a kid can play however they want to play. What I'm saying is, like, I'm saying that women shouldn't be taught to be submissive. They can be submissive if they want, and there's times for that to be appropriate. But I feel like it's like so ingrained in our culture already to teach women to be small, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that generally speaking, if you look throughout history, the best leaders, the strongest leaders have been men, and I'm totally fine with that. As a strong woman, like, I want to follow a strong man. But I also want...
See, we're a little different there.
See, I'm talking about, like, big picture. Like, I don't want to fucking be president. I don't want to like
I would
start
love,
a war.
I would
don't
love
want
a
to
strong female.
Sure,
president.
but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't follow a strong woman. I'm just saying those don't exist right now. Like they're not stepping up into those roles.
I think because we're taught from beginning.
I don't know that it's that. I think, or maybe it is, but I think that a lot of it is like it's more normal to want to follow a stronger man.
I think that's only because it's conditioned right now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I look at a lot, like, I'd have to, like, dig into cultures that are not as civilized and see how they run things and see what works. I mean, there's so many different types of people, but, like, I just think that, I mean, a leader is a leader, to be honest. There's plenty of weak-ass fucking bitches that are men leading. But, I don't even know how we got on this conversation.
Oh, yeah. This is a tangent here.
We'll just cycle back. This is a dating episode. For fuck's sake.
My bad. I told you I was heated and triggered from the beginning.
Yeah. I get what you're... No, totally. Like, young women, young girls. I'm excited to see your kid.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you always expect us to pay for dinner?
Oh, okay. You don't have to pay for dinner, but...
Let's talk about first date.
Okay, first date. A guy asks me out, and you go to dinner. I'm not going to expect you to... okay. I'm going to expect you to pay, but I will have a contingency plan if you don't. The thing is, like, if you ask me for dinner, are you courting me? You know, like, is this like if I asked you out, it would be completely different. Like, are we talking balance here? Like, if you ask me out on a dinner, if you ask me out for a date, that's you asking for some of my time and you're courting me. So I do expect you to pay. Do I expect you to pay every time? No, but like, especially on the first date, like, you're like trying to get me. So I don't know. I would, in the first date, expect you to pay. But you don't have to. Like, I'm going to have a contingency plan if you don't.
Yeah. I think it's weird because a lot of first dates come after texting someone on a dating app now. And so it's like, you know, it's almost like you're, you know, asking a strange guy to like pay for, he's never even met you in person yet. And it's like, okay, in order to go out with me, you have to buy me something. I get it. It is weird, but I think it's just because of how people are meeting nowadays. I think that's the main reason. Yeah. I think if you met in person, it would be like a lot more like, it would make sense because if a guy asks you out after like meeting you once and like wants to take you out to court you, I love being courted. Like, I love being taken out on dates and like.
I can already feel the comments I'm gonna get from, oh, you want strong women, but you're still like picking us pay for dinner. I'm already expecting.
Listen, we are women. We want everything, and we also don't know what we want.
That's the thing. It's like I would like if I ask you out or if I'm taking you out for a reason and I'm like, hey, I want to go out to dinner for you. I want to pay for you too. Like, I expect it to be more balanced later on. But for the first date, I don't know. It seems.
Well, I think let's talk about chivalry. You know, because the whole chivalry is dead. I don't know who started saying that. I'm calling bullshit. I don't know whether it like is dead because people think that women don't want it or people think that like men just aren't doing it anymore. I'm not sure why it got started, but I love it. I know that there was a phase in like my 20s when I was like, I can do it myself, you know, like when you're like that tough. I mean, whatever. Definitely not that way anymore. I don't know a woman in my life that wouldn't want her date to open the door for her. Yeah, I just don't. That's a positive thing. And I think that you would definitely stand out if you did small things like that, like walking me to my door after the date, you know. Those things are cute, and I pay attention to them. As for dinner, I'm all about being. It could be splitsies, but like it's definitely attractive. Like I said, I like a masculine guy. I want to feel like I'm going to be taken care of. And that doesn't mean I'm not providing anything, but I want someone that like wants to, you know, spoil me and take care of me in that way. Like that's the kind of dynamic I'm searching for, but not everyone likes that. Yeah. I know it'd be friggin' hard for a dude right now because he's like, I don't know what to do. Some women get mad when you open the door. Some love it. Like, stick true to yourself. If you think that, Like, if you want a woman who wants, like, that partnership role where you're leading her, then do the chivalrous things, because that's the woman that you're going to attract. If you don't care, if you want someone who's, you know, like, not everyone, like, wants the same dynamic. Like, some people want, like, more of, like, a partnership. Some people want, like, more, like, leader, you know, follow, like, not, like, submissive per se, but, like, where they're not exactly, like, I don't know how to explain it. where one person is more masculine than the other is what I will say. So whatever you're searching for, stick true to yourself is what I would advise on that.
I think that's good advice.
Because then you're going to attract the person that likes it. If a woman doesn't like it, but you like doing it, then that person is not for you. Whether they fit all the other boxes for you, you know? I think you should pull up the funny ones on your phone.
The funny ones.
Okay, this is a good one. Are Crocs a deal breaker?
Absolutely not. That is a pro in my eyes. If you ain't crocking, you ain't rocking.
Oh, I heard it here first. Folks.
I have multiple pairs of Crocs.
Yeah, but on a dude?
Yeah. Full send. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know. With socks or without?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
It does not matter. I prefer socks with Crocs.
Such a weird question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm turned on by a guy in Crocs.
Oh. What is a deal breaker for you? What's your biggest deal breaker?
Someone who is unhealthy. Like, if you have unhealthy habits, like if you eat like shit, if you smoke cigarettes, if you basically don't have any self-control and like don't care about your physical or mental health, like both of them are equally important. So if you're not aware of those things, you know, and like it's one thing to have some fun and like do stupid stuff every once in a while, but like if that's your normal, not interested.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine's kids. If you don't want kids, that's a non-negotiable for me. I do want if I am blessed to have, biological kids, I want that. If I can't, then I will adopt. I want to be a mother. And if you don't, that's completely fine. We should end things before it gets serious, because that is a deal breaker for me.
Yeah,
that would be mine.
That should be like something that is discussed on the first few dates.
Yeah, you should communicate.
Maybe not the first date, because that's like deep. But
once you start to develop feelings and start to get more serious, it needs to be brought up before like real emotion gets in.
Yeah, and it's so tricky because when you're like I was telling you earlier, like I've witnessed it happen. Like someone got married in their 20s and they both didn't want kids, and then one of them they both got older and one of them changed their mind. And like that happens, but you gotta be willing to like realize that, like, because in your late 20s is like I feel like so much change happens. Where some people like know right away, like they're like 100% for one or the other. I don't think those people are going to be the ones that change. I think it's the ones that are like not sure. Like when I was in basically like my whole life, I never like wanted kids, and only now I'm 34 and I'm like, maybe I do. So like had I been married to someone from when I was 25, we would have had that conversation. I don't want children. He'd be like, I don't want children. Married for how long? And then it's like, oops, changing my mind. Yeah, you have to be okay with that, but and aware that it could happen. But yeah, it definitely needs to be brought up, because if you never talk about it, you're definitely not going to know. Yeah, mine's been like since the time of baby dolls, like it could change. I could, meet a horrible tyrant kid and be like, I'm just kidding. Think that's gonna happen. That's the thing. It's like it's very, very highly unlikely that I'm going to change my mind about this and not want kids. So yeah, for sure. So you said pull up the funny ones. She sent me some on my phone. And it said, do women like booty on guys? Man butts. Fuck yes. Who wants, what's the alternative? No butt? Like, who wants that? I mean, I don't want a dude that's, doing fucking glute-specific exercises necessarily, in public at a gym. With booty bands? Yeah. Gross. Go for it. Don't. Yeah. Do that at home, please. Build that peach. But, if you're doing, squats and doing the proper, I love a guy that hits legs. Oh, yeah. No, you have to hit legs. I'm just saying, I would be turned off if I saw a dude in the gym doing, cable kickbacks. I don't know.
I wouldn't. You do you, King.
Yeah, you're gonna be wearing Crocs too, I bet.
Yeah, that's perfect. Marry me now. Do blue kickbacks wearing Crocs, and you're mine.
God. And you're mine.
Oh man, I'm gonna get some weird comments on this one. Vulnerability, yes or no? Do you guys like it when men show vulnerability?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is an interesting one because I feel for you dudes, because just as women are taught from a young age to be submissive and like quiet and small, men are taught not to share their emotions and that nobody cares about how you feel and that you have to be strong all the time. But that's not, I don't know any adult women that agree with that. Like there's just a way to do it where you can be vulnerable but still have your shit together. You're not having like a mental breakdown. Like
I expect that for women too, though.
Same. And you do it in like the right, like you gotta find a way to do it, like when you're with a partner that you trust, and like don't wait till you're drunk to do it. Like share it with people that you trust when you feel like you can, but I got nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Laundry or dinner? What's sexier, a guy that does your laundry right or someone who cooks you dinner?
Feed me. Always.
Please don't touch my clothes. I don't know. That one's like that's like a control thing I have. I like doing my own laundry, so dinner.
Yeah, like some of my gym clothes, like I hang my leggings and my shorts, and I'm sure someone can easily figure that out, but like it's one of those things that's like the keeping the mystery. Like I don't need you going through my dirty clothes.
Yeah, I mean,
what if I like smell really bad? I don't want to be like, ugh, it's just stink. Like I just like I'll do mine, you do yours. How about we call it good? Like on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. How unwanted is a guy coming up and talking to you at a party, bar, etc.? No guy likes to be a creep.
So my theory on this is, and this is like just advice to men when they're hitting on women in general, is give yourself and the woman you're hitting on an easy out. So like an easy line. So like I'm in a relationship. If I'm at a bar with like you per se, and some dude were to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" My answer, because I'm in a relationship, is going to be no, and that's your cue to leave. No means bye. Now, if I'm single and I say no, that means I'm not attracted to you. I don't want to talk to you. Also leave. But if I say yes, then I'm curious, and then you have until the time that the drink arrives to woo me by like talking to me and like having like some kind of good conversation. Or there's secret answer number 4, where it's like I say I don't want another drink, but like if I continue to talk to you anyway, like maybe I don't want you to buy me a drink, but I'm okay with talking to you, and that's like me personally, like I'm direct. Like if I don't want to talk to you, I'm gonna tell you I don't want to talk to you. I know a lot of women don't do that, but I think that the asking a simple yes or no question is easy, because then a woman, if she doesn't want to talk to you, should just be like, no thanks.
I would much prefer somebody to do that rather than just trying to be like, hey, what's up? Because then it's like, or
a compliment or something.
Yeah, it's harder to establish interest than, like it's easy to say yes or no, and then less feelings are hurt. Like, hey, I just don't want to drink. You can move on and buy somebody else a drink. Don't spend your money on me. That kind of thing. But if I do say yes, or if I am interested, it's harder for me to show like that I'm interested if you're just having small talk. I'm not a big small talk person. I don't like talking about random things, and honestly, if I'm in a group with my girls, or if I'm out drinking with a group of people, like why should I pull myself from my people that I'm comfortable with to talk to you? Like give me a reason, that kind of thing.
And I'm like, again, I think a lot of women will just take a free drink even though they're not interested. So that one's a tricky one. I hear you that you maybe don't want to do that. If you're picking up chicks at a bar, that's your own. You started there, so. But I think that like you can find another question to ask. That would be like a yes or no. Because if it's like a yes or no, and the yes implies that like they can hang out with you more with whatever it is, then that means that they're interested in you. If they say no, then just be like, all all right, cool, thanks, bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
just an easy out type thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't be so like open-ended, I guess.
Yeah.
For the
but
first approach.
I'm, you know, back when I like dudes didn't approach me at bars when I was single, but like it was attractive when a guy would. Even if I'm not interested in you, I still give mad props to dudes that would like come up and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like that takes courage, so that's attractive right there. If you're cute as well, that's bonus points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
You said if he's cute, so that's the other question I wanted to talk about. What was it exactly? It's like if a guy you're unattracted to does something and you find it creepy, is it actually true that if a guy that you were attracted to that you do find attractive or handsome, if he does it, it's not creepy?
It's a fact.
It is.
I've had guys that are like, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're unattractive. It just means that you are not interested in them. Like, I don't care, like, because you were saying how like unattractive it is for a guy to be like overly cocky. So like that guy could be very good looking, but if he's a douche and he's doing stuff like trying to hit on you or like messaging you, sliding up in your DMs or something, and you're like, I don't fucking like you because you're a cocky douchebag. Yeah. It doesn't matter if he's attractive. Yeah. He's not creepy, he's annoying at that point. But yeah, no, if you're not attractive and you do stuff like that.
So like DMs could be creepy or not creepy depending on like that's a good example. Like if somebody could DM me and I am not attracted to at all, I'm like, oh man, like what he said was creepy. But an attractive person can DM me the exact same DM. But if I'm attracted to you, I'm like, all right, I'll entertain this. You know, like it's not fair, I guess, but it is fair because it's
we're humans, man.
It's attraction. Like you don't want me to pretend to be attracted to you. Like just take the hint and move on.
Yeah. That leads me to the next question. When should men give up the chase?
I think it's all about feedback, right? You need to have good enough social skills to recognize if I'm interested or not. So if you ask me out and I say no, and I continue to want to be in your presence, I want to continue conversation, I want to, do things with you, just not in like a romantic sense. I mean, you can try again later on once you develop more of a friendship, more of a relationship, and maybe my, opinions will change. But if you ask me out, I say no, and I have shut you down. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to carry on the conversation. I don't want to keep doing things. Take the fucking hint. Like, I don't want to have any romantic involvement with you. Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, like, if a woman likes you, she'll message you like a funny meme or gif. Like, it's so easy. Like, she might not know how to like bring up a conversation or whatever, but like if you asked her out and she said no, and she doesn't ever, she's never the first one to message you, she doesn't like you.
And maybe feelings could change later on.
Sure, but if you're just asking out and not trying to actually be a friend to someone, then it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, like I said before, I like the courting process. So my current boyfriend, he asked me out a few times, and I said no. I swear to God, I wasn't fucking with him. We didn't have that friendship foundation built yet. Like, we were working on that part. And I was slowly like falling for him, not knowing it. He like snuck in there. He's sneaking out.
I watched the transition and I enjoyed watching it because you would talk about him and then you could tell as you guys developed more of the friendship and he kept just giving like little reasons to want to date him. I saw your opinion change. Yeah. And it was cute.
I knew the day that I got in that car accident that I was going to date him, and he said he knew too because he was the first person I wanted to call, and I was like, why do I want to call him? I'm like, we're not even like close. Like, what the hell?
That's so cute.
But he, had he not been persistent, we wouldn't be together right now. Because he literally had to like chase me for a while. Like, I made him work for it.
Yeah, but you still gave him, cues to keep. But we were messaging
involved every single day, all day. I still liked him. We were friends. We were talking all the time. Like, yeah. So that was his cue that like I wasn't shutting him down hard. Like, he's like, oh, she's gonna break. Just wait for it. Yeah. So, yeah, feedback is important. Pay attention to like your cues. Like, is she responding to you with actual words, or is she just saying one word or like liking? If you're just getting a double tap like on the comment, she's probably just doing that to be nice. Like, if she wants to talk to you, if you made the first move to message her first, she will fucking message you back. If she likes you. If not, then take the hint.
Yeah. And I'm a big component of no means no, and I'm not required to give you an explanation for why.
Oh, yeah, no.
Look, like, just accept it, and you can, read the feedback, and if I still want to be with you, like, in a non-romantic sense, you can keep going. But, like, if I say no, and you get, like, butthurt, or you demand, like, a reason for why, like, you are not entitled to that. I don't have to have a reason. 100%. And I don't have to, even if I have a reason, I'm probably not going to give it to you. I'm just going to be like, fuck you. Like, do not. I don't know.
I have a really funny story. I haven't told you this one yet.
Oh,
So this was when I was living in Washington. I was working, I was the assistant range master at a gun range. So most of my coworkers were men.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked on the range side, and there was a gun store attached. And there was a guy who worked in the store. So like I very rarely like spoke to him, like maybe in passing, like, hey Corey, what's up, or whatever. Like we're not friends outside of work, like nothing. And he got like, he gave his notice. He was gonna leave the store. He had a new job, so he gave his 2 weeks notice. And he's like, hey, I wanted to ask you out. I've been wanting to ask you out for a long time, but you're not supposed to, like, fraternize with your coworkers, so I didn't. But now that I'm leaving, I'm doing it. I'm like, oh. And I was like, yeah, no. And I was like, I'm not. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And he, like, was persistent to ask me why. And I was like, I'm not attracted to you at all. Like, I don't like you at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no part of me that wants to date you. I was blunt.
Oh
I was I was pretty blunt back then. I'm a little better now. But I was also, like, very shocked because, like, he had never, like I said, like, very minimal interaction with this guy.
Yeah.
And so this is the funny part. So I don't know, through like group texts at work or something, he had my phone number. And he called me one day when I was driving to work. So I worked at 9, so it was like 8 a.m. And he's like, hey, I just wanted to, like, ask you again, like, to explain to me, like, why you said no. Like, he was just, like, generally curious. And I was like, you want me to tell you the truth? Like, you want me to, like, just spill it out for you? And he's like, yeah, I want to know. And that's when I was like, I don't think you're cute. I'm not physically attracted to you. Like, I don't like body type. Like, you're kind of a dork. Like, I just kind of, like, spilled it. And I was like, I've never once flirted with you, or no. I'm, like, not interested at all. And he's like, listen, I swear you gave me signs. And I was like, what were the signs? And he's like, you smiled? I was like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, you played with your hair a lot? This is when I had long hair, so I did the, like, this thing all the time. I always did that with my hair.
Brush your hair back?
Yeah, like, I comb my fingers through my hair. I used to do that all the time. And then he said, you showed me your wrists. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, I wore a t-shirt. What do you mean I showed you? They're always out. I showed everybody my
Saudi
wrists.
Arabia? Like, what?
I was like,
oh, are you turned on right now? Like, oh my god.
Do you like?
Oh my god.
So I was like, did you read this off of, like, Google? Like, did you look up what it means for, like, a woman to like you? Like, what it meant? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of telling my boss, who I was, like, kind of friends with. And they ended up, like, they let him go early. But he's like, dude, he's creepy. He's like, make sure you're carrying your gun everywhere you go. And I'm like, he's not creepy. He just was like, he didn't know. And I was like trying to, like, literally teach him. But it was so weird because, like, I didn't owe him an explanation. But he was, like, completely, he, like, thought I liked him. And, like, he was so convinced based on what he read on the internet that I was lying. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking crazy. Anyway, they always used to make fun of me. They'd be like, hey, Anna, and they'd, like, show their wrists. I'm like, get out of here, fucking turd.
So that story reminds me of, like, I don't think you should ask questions you don't want the answer for.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, and it's like, should you, so we were going through these articles of, like, things you should ask your boyfriend on the first date, or something on the first date, or things you should ask your boyfriend to get to know him better. And it's, like, talking about the past. Yeah. And it's like, do you want to know how many people I've slept with? Do you want to know my craziest, sexual experience? Do you want to know all this stuff? And it's like, okay, we can talk about it, but you can't get upset about my
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah, and my response to you was, I can do it as long as we're not drinking alcohol, because I'll be immediately more emotional. And two, like, I need the preface of like, hey, we're gonna discuss this
In a productive way.
because we want to, like, I want to learn about your past so that I can understand where you're coming from and like why maybe you have this kind of issue with this or whatever. It will explain a lot more. But I will probably still, going into that, like, probably still get my feelings hurt, which is why I don't ask those questions.
Yeah, that's the thing, is if you want to know those, you have to be okay with me answering
Like, I
them.
do, but not that bad, I think.
Yeah. Like, I think it's important to know a rough synopsis of the past, to know traumas, to know how to not trigger you into going back into, you know, a bad
Yeah.
mental headspace, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But
Minor detail stuff, like,
yeah,
not go
like,
in depth.
I don't want details. I
Yeah,
don't. I
yeah.
really don't. That's not productive. And I think I brought up the point of, like, if something in your past is currently in the present, you know, like if it's
Yeah.
affecting the present, like if somebody you were with in the past is still in your life for some reason, like, I probably need to know that, just so that there's no skewed context, you know, like, hey, this happened, this is where we're at now, I want you to know about it, and, you know, there's nothing going on, or like make it clear that there are boundaries, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's
That
the
makes
other
me
reason.
think of a question we didn't talk about.
Oh,
Do you stay friends with exes?
I do not. I do not have a single friend that is an ex.
Same.
There are billions of people in this world. I do not need to be friends with my ex. And I kind of think it's creepy if you are, unless you have a reason to be. Like, people with kids, come on,
That makes
that's
sense.
different.
You're co-parenting.
That's different. Completely
There's no
different.
other reason to be friends with an ex. One time I went on a date with a guy, and he told me that his dog was like a year, maybe a year and a half. So him and his ex-girlfriend had raised this dog together. Now I get it. You get attached to dogs, but they were still co-parenting the dog. Well, he ghosted me after like 3 dates. I'm like, bet money he's back with his ex.
Yeah,
Because when you go meet for the dog date, you're like,
That's an excuse.
it's just so creepy.
to
I'm
see
like,
them
yeah,
again. Like, no.
It's weird.
And I honestly do have a problem with anybody that I'm involved with being friends with their exes.
Same.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, like you said, there's billions of people in the world. Like, why do you need it?
And people are like, you gotta practice tolerance, you know, like you said, things can end cordially, and you can, you know,
That's
that
fine.
kind of thing.
If I see you at a bar, like, I'll be like, hey.
I'm not gonna be outright hostile, but you're not gonna be in my daily life. You're not gonna be even like
Yeah.
slightly in my life. Like, no.
I'm not interested in it, and I think it's a respect thing. If you respect the foundation of your current relationship, like, if it makes someone uncomfortable, like, now some people's uncomfortabilities are irrational, and it's not so much like of a it's like, I'm not worried per se that like my boyfriend's gonna get together. You know, obviously that relationship ended for a reason, but it's just it makes you feel like, why do you need that person still around? Like, you have so much history in a romantic type of way. It's like, it's weird.
Your brain chemistry changes
Yeah.
when you're like in a relationship with somebody. Like, you physically change as a person. And so how am I, like, to me, there needs to be no even outlet for that.
Yeah.
No.
And when I was younger, I had a ton of, this is another one, I had a ton of guy friends. Like, I was in the Marine Corps, I was a tomboy. Like, I didn't, like, date a lot when I was young. I had dude friends. And you know, I was one of those stubborn girls that took, like, way too long to listen to people when they're like, all your dudes want to hook up with you and, like, date you. And I'm like, no, they don't. They're just my friend. One by one, they proved that was a lie. So, I also don't have a lot of guy friends anymore. Or I don't have guy friends that I hang out with one-on-one with, like, well, now that I'm in a relationship. So, like, you know, I've just gotten more women friends, or, like, I'll have, like, guys that I'll hang out with as friends, but it's in a group setting.
I got you.
Like, I would never...
I'm a little different on that one. I do have a lot of guy friends that, even if, you know, like, I haven't had problems with that being, but I've had problems with people I've been with suspecting And that's like a trust barrier with me.
Sure.
Like if you don't trust me enough, then there's something wrong in the foundation there. Like, why do you not trust me? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you've been hurt in the past, completely get why there would be apprehension, but you should trust me enough, or we should build, or we have to figure out some sort of boundary of like, okay, why, like what would me hanging out with my friends, like what would make you comfortable with that, with you being there, with, you know, like,
Sure.
Needing to know more.
Having a discussion about it is totally
that's
like,
completely
legit.
fine. But for me, like, I need you to be okay with me being around the opposite sex and trusting me enough that it's not going to be a problem. That's big with me.
Yeah, I mean that's literally. I don't want to like say this, but like when I was exactly your age, that was my fucking opinion on it.
Yeah.
And nobody has asked me to not have guy friends. As I've just gone through relationships, I've realized that like I don't like guys I've seen have women friends that they hang out with, because it's like I'm when Harry met Sally, like you know, their whole premise is like men and women can't just be friends. At some point, some like there's and I get it, like there's definitely like friends that are like you're not gonna date even if they like you, whatever, but it's just like I want to, like I said, I'm worried about like being the best version of myself and treating my partner how I would want to be treated. And so that's just something that I do. No one's asked me or like made me to do it. And I haven't run into the situation where it's like come up on the other end. But if it was, I'd be like a conversation, like you said, like what would make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be like, hey, you can't be friends with that person anymore. But it's like, how can you make it more comfortable is a good question.
I like that.
Yeah. And that's not even necessarily about like, it's just, it's not, I don't.
Because I can see your side of it too, of like, if I even have any sort of apprehension of like a girl hanging out with a guy, with my, you know.
I've never been cheated on that I know of.
Oh,
so
I have.
That's not even like a thing that I'm like assuming. It's more so of like, you know me, I'm big on quality time. So like if I'm not spending a lot of time with you, but then you're spending a lot of time with a woman and you're doing something that's like connecting you, like it's jealousy, but not in a way that like I don't worry about the romantic part of it.
That's a good point.
So I don't know,
priorities, I guess.
I feel like I would feel the same way if you know my boyfriend had like a best dude that they were always doing stuff together and I wasn't going with. I would still feel jealous in like a way that like left out.
Yeah, I can see that. I also
but if you're making enough time for me, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's like
it's all about balance and communication, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
All right, well, we got more. We got dad bods written down in here. You want to talk to us about dad bods?
Because the question was, do you like dad bod versus like an athletic body or an athletic abs or dad bod? And the thing is, I know dad bods are popular right now, and I'm not knocking them, you know. But like, if you're asking me my preference, I don't think you need a six pack, but you need to take care of your body. I have based my entire life around physical fitness and caring about my body externally and internally, and I think you need to prioritize your health and fitness on top of it. So dad bod, not necessarily like bad, but are you doing what's necessary to take care of yourself? That's what's attractive. So I would say I would want an athletic form, because that's obviously you prioritizing yourself.
Right. I feel the same way. I don't give a fuck about, in fact, I dated a guy that once he was so hung up on like having abs and like being shredded that like he was not fun to be around, because like he wouldn't have a beer with me after like a long week, and I'm like, okay, you're a stick in the mud, like loosen the strings a little. You know, like it wasn't like, hey, I need to do this for a short period of time. It was just like how he was living, and I'm like, okay, dude. But then you know, to me, especially coming from like healthcare, when you get older, like excessive fat is hard to lose, and like belly fat literally is your diet. It shows what you are putting in your body day after day after day for years. And so like to me, that just, it's a physical representation of how you treat your body. And like I don't want someone like super crazy strict. Like I've never done like bodybuilding competition. That shit's hard. I don't know that I'd want someone that was that strict.
I like that.
I know you do.
I like the mental fortitude it takes to do a bodybuilding show.
No,
that
for
shows me that you're strong.
Yeah.
And you have willpower and you have integrity and blank, 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 blank. But do I think you need abs all the time? No. Because if you expect me to have abs all the time, I've done bodybuilding competition. I've had the shredded 8-pack. I've been skin and muscle and bone. Like I've been there. And I like the way I look like that, and I love the way that I look right now. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a six-pack right now. I'm enjoying beers with my friends, and but I still prioritize my fitness. I'm still fit. I still work out. I still am taking care of myself. I would not say I would have a mom bod's not like a thing. That's not like a
but
name,
it's
but
like it's same. Even if we take the abs out of it, like if a man or woman has like super jiggly soft like arms or legs, to me that's not attractive because it means you don't move your body enough. Like and again, I like a masculine man. Like, I don't care how you do it. If you're fucking throwing axes or, you know, doing weightlifting or running, like, it doesn't matter how you move your body. But if you're moving your body will show that. So it's like, yeah. I don't know who came up with a dad. Here's the thing. You know why? You know why people like dad bods? It's because dads are sexy. That's why dad bods became a thing. It's not because we like your body. It's because we are attracted to family men.
Yeah.
Men that love kids and their wives are fucking hot. It's hot. And at that point, you don't have to be as attractive to be sexy.
Because you're prioritizing family along with other things. That's what's attractive.
I think that's what it was. It was never about like, I don't think it was ever about the body. It was about the dad aspect. Like, just dads are fucking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like seriously, even women that don't want kids, like, it's attractive to be like, oh my god. Like, if you see a dad with a little baby, you're like,
oh my god, my
That's
ovaries
so cute.
start screaming.
See, and for someone like you that wants kids, for sure, that is like, oh my god. For me, even when I didn't like necessarily see myself having children, I'm like, it's just something about it that I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a single dad, fucking use it. I mean, don't use your kids, but you know what I mean. Like, know that it's not like an unattractive thing. In fact, it's more attractive the more you prioritize your children.
So we have favorite date written down.
Yeah.
So to you, what would be like a idealistic date? Are we doing first date or just date?
I mean, we can do both.
Okay.
We can start. A first date, I don't want something that like I have to commit to. Like, I want something that like if it's not good, I can dip out because I don't want to waste my time. If it's like, if you can tell from the beginning that it's like, this is not good. I want an out. So like, you know, maybe just a quick little thing. I want to be able to talk to them. Like, the movies thing is so out. Like, that's like for teenagers when they don't know how to have a conversation, you know, like in high school. And like, let's go to a movie. You can hold hands because you already know you like each other because you go to school every day. Like, that makes sense. I like, on a first date, something simple.
I like an activity, like that you can communicate while also doing something, because it takes the tension out of it a little bit. Like, say, like bowling or like something like that, because then you can talk to them face to face, and then like a movie or like a, you know, like a show that you have to go to, like you're focused on that solely. I want to be focused on you, but also like if there's like a lull in conversation, be like, oh, it's my turn to bowl, and like get up and go, and then you have that time to like decompress a little bit or get your thoughts together, and like it gives you like it takes some of the tension out. So that would be my first date ideal. It's just something that we can do together, but also have like a talking aspect of it, get to know each other, feel out the vibe.
Yeah, see, I'm not opposed to that, but like my problem is I hate bowling.
I love bowling.
And like darts and pool, like I just don't really care about those. Like, it's just like I played cornhole last night, and that's fun, but like, how do you go play cornhole like randomly? I don't know.
They have those cool like interactive bars that have like, you know, like life-size beer pong, or like, I mean, that kind of thing. I sound so young right now, but I don't know. I like I like to be entertained.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my main thing is I'm there on a date to get to know you, and I don't need you to like, sure, like every woman likes it when a guy can get creative, but I also like don't want to put so much pressure on like someone who's taking me out to be like, it has to be something cool, like, you know.
No, I don't think so. Because you go on so many first dates, like when you're feeling it out, it's like he can't do something creative every time. But I also don't think that like a dinner. Like, I think that's very, very formal for a first date, just because, like,
Well, you have to commit to being there for a whole day.
and it's like, I don't know. That's very, like, too much pressure. I think so much pressure is put on the first date. I think it takes some of the pressure out of it if it's not so formal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. Like, at first I thought, like, dinner would be good, but I think the dinner would
It's
be
a good
nice
second
as a
date.
first date if you meet them in person.
Or if you already know them.
Or, yeah, if you already know them.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like, I wasn't worried about, like, spending too much time with my boyfriend because we already had, like, this huge, you know,
Mm-hmm.
thing built of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And so that wasn't like oh, am I gonna have fun or not? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I already knew, like, I'd be fine if we'd spend like 5 hours or whatever it was, you know, like, wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. I also like when the person has like a curfew or like
What?
no, like, hear me out, just
Okay.
like hang tight, I'm getting somewhere. So the thing is, when you really like someone,
Mm-hmm.
you, like, in the beginning when you're dating them,
Mm-hmm.
you want to, like, literally not leave them. Like, you want to, like, stay and hang out and keep, what can we do next? What can we do next? I like to have that feeling as long as I can. And
Mhm.
so I want you, like, I want one of us to have to go home
Mm-hmm.
so that we have to, like, wait to see each other and be excited. Like, I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, the actual courting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to, you know, quick little date turning into, like, an all fucking day thing.
Yeah.
Not in the, just because in the fun, like, in the beginning, like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
That is why the curfew
I like
thing.
that. I get what you're saying.
It sounds a little weird.
Setting, like, time boundaries.
Because although it's fun to, like, keep the date going,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, but then you just did, like, your first 5 dates in one.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd rather you just call me tomorrow or text me tomorrow and ask me out again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
don't want to be all, like, giddy and excited and want to see you so much more badly. It's like the actual courting process.
Yeah. That's
Chivalry. It's a good thing.
cute. Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see.
Do you want to talk about turn-ons and turn-offs?
Yeah. You want to quit with questions for a minute?
Yeah.
Turn-ons and turn-offs? What kind of things are we talking about here?
I think just attraction-based.
Okay,
Turn-ons and
men who
turn-offs.
cook for me. Love it.
Uh-huh. Well, you already talked about my turn-off, so I'll talk about that. It's the over-cockiness.
Yeah.
Like, if you come up to me and you're like, and I'm getting this energy of, why wouldn't you want to date me? Why wouldn't you talk to me? I'm like, oh man, it's not for me.
Yeah, like, if you're walking around like your mother's, there's a I don't remember what it is because I don't speak Farsi, but I dated a Persian guy, and I guess they, like, tell them boys from a young age that they have a golden penis,
Oh my god.
and so the Persian men walk around all like, oh, because their mothers are like, oh, they literally have a name for it. I don't remember what it is, but it's like, your penis is gold. I'm like, dude, that's
Oh.
crazy.
My god. My turn on would be like romantic, like relationship would be remembering things I say.
Oh my god.
It is like, if you remember, like, if I said something really small and like you remember that and it comes up later on, I'm like, oh my god, like that changes things for me.
Yeah. You know that the best birthday present I got? So
The CD,
the
right?
CD. So, like, I told my boyfriend that when I sold my car, I traded it in, I left the new Blink-182 CD in the CD player. I know I still have CDs, weirdo, but I left it in there because it was like a free one when I went to their concert that I
Yeah.
got. So I didn't technically, like, buy it for the CD purpose, but I was sad because I, like, really wanted it, and I, like, by the time I remembered to get it, I was moving it to Texas and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
He bought me that CD, what, $13
Yeah.
for my birthday, and, like, literally I almost cried because it was. He got me a couple other things too, and they were so great. Like, his gifts, he did really well, but that one meant so much because, like, I didn't ask him for that, and he just heard me say it once, and, like,
And remembered.
yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah, we listened to that CD every time I got in your car for like 2 months. For a while.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's good. I am very much turned on by men who do what they say they're gonna do. So like, I'm just gonna keep using him as an example. I told him that my kid kept like sneaking into my room and like taking stuff out of my bathroom or my closet, and I'm like, what the heck? Literally hours later, he brings over a doorknob and installs. He doesn't just like leave me a doorknob with a key. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Got this for you. Like, that could have been a nice gift. The man installed it right then and there and like gave me the keys to lock my room. And he's like, there you go. Like, solved my problem, handled it. I didn't ask for it. I just was like telling him something. I was just like complaining about how frustrated I was. And he just did it. He took the initiative and did it. I was like, oh.
Turn off would be dismissiveness. I don't like being ignored or dismissed. So like if I say something and like you roll your eyes, I don't know, like it's like if you're like,
ooh, I roll.
I don't, man. Like if you're being funny about it, like you're like, oh, you're talking about, like if it's a joke, it's obvious. Like, but if you roll your eyes and you mean it, or like if something, like if I say something bothers me and you like dismiss it and we don't talk about it, like, it's a no-go. That's a no-go for me.
Yeah. No, for sure. Been doing a lot of turn-ons, turn-offs.
That's good. You're being positive. I'm like, fuck, man.
Well, I'm currently like very, very happy in a relationship, so like it's easy for me to think about like
good. Be positive.
This man and like all the wonderful things he does. He doesn't listen to my podcast anyway, but you'll never know.
He should listen to this one.
Nah, he won't. Or if he does, he'll never tell me. He certainly won't watch it on YouTube. It's not a turn off, by the way. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't like when things that I'm insecure about are brought up in a joking manner.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That's something that's like...
Like, if they didn't know it was an insecurity, is that still like a thing? Or like,
no.
if you know, like he knows.
Like if I tell you something that's uncomfortable once, and like you after you said it, and I'm like, hey, I don't like that. Like, don't. If you keep doing it, I'm like, okay. So either you don't care that I was trying to tell you something, or you're like, I don't understand, like, why I'm black and white telling you what to do or what not to do. That's a, yeah. Because sometimes people, and like I've heard this from other people too, like they'll like think that someone's like playing with them, or like, and they'll like say like stop, and they're like, I don't know like where the line is. Like you don't know like when people are being playful, like whether you're touching them or like saying something. Sometimes people are like, okay, knock it off. Like people like don't know where to read people's lines, and I feel like my line is very blunt, but maybe to someone else they've been like, oh no, like they're just joking, like they don't, like it's playful, like if they're used to being like teasing or like playful, like funny,
or they think they're making light of it to help you, you know.
Sure, whatever it is, and I don't think it's like ill-intended, but like it's definitely,
yeah,
there you go, I gave you a negative one.
There you go.
All right, what do we got? Any other? I don't think there's any other.
No, I think we did pretty good. I mean, we could do like superficial ones, like body hair versus no body hair. What's your preference? You can do stuff like that.
Okay, well, you already know my answer. I like masculine men. Don't shave your body. It's so...
You like them grizzly bear men.
Oh my god. Wearing a flannel? Yeah.
I mean, I don't...
Burt Reynolds, like Tom Selleck coming out, the chest hair coming out.
I don't dislike body hair if it's like a normal amount, but if you have like burly, like fair, I don't like it.
Oh yeah, I want my fingers to get tangled.
Oh my god. No. I like a good amount of like show me your mammal, but that's enough, you know, like, oh my gosh.
It's masculine about it though, like men are hairy. Now, with that being said, I will help you get rid of that back hair, because no one likes back hair. It's just, there's a right place for it. Like, there's, manscaping is a thing. You know what I mean? I was just saying.
Yeah, beard or no beard?
I could do either. You know, I was in the military, so like I really enjoy a clean shaved face, but I also like masculinity. Like, and I think like the traditional like manly guy. Like when I think of like a Viking or like the most badass motherfuckers like in the woods or wilderness, they got a beard. I also love mustaches.
I agree. I mean, I like all that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that being my Christmas present.
He's got to listen to this one.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting it into the universe.
Okay. Manifest it.
Manifest.
Well, I think we should have closing thoughts. You think?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question I had to close out everything would be like, what's the difference, like, feeling for you between falling in love and being in love? Because for me, falling in love feels completely different than being in love. Falling in love is the crazy high hormones, like the urges, like falling in love is like you finding a person that you vibe with on multiple levels. Whereas being in love is all about comfortability and dependability. It's all about like being secure, like security is being in love. Where it's falling in love feels chaotic to me.
I can see that.
Like chaos versus comfortability.
It's exciting. Falling in love is like, it's an action. Falling. You are going through all the things, you're feeling it all at once, and it's new, usually. But on the other end of that, like, I believe that love itself is, or should be, an action. And you should be focusing on that and trying to fall in love with your person every day.
Like a choice.
Yeah, you're choosing that. I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a relationship guru, but one of the things I think that I want to focus on is I think that people get really wrapped up in this idea that like you like focus on the things you would change or that you're not happy with more so than the positive. And so whatever you pay attention to is what you see and are aware of. So like if you have a partner and you spend a lot of time complaining to your friends or just like thinking of all the things they fuck up versus all of the things they do for you and how they make you feel when they make you feel your best and all of those things, like obviously like people have pros and cons, they have ups and downs. You're gonna have both sides, but if you focus on one or the other, like you're gonna end up feeling more of that feeling, I think. So like I choose to pay more, and it's like you have to make yourself do it because it's easy to get like wrapped up in the I'm mad and like I want to bitch about this, but it's like I'd rather just focus on the positive.
So you're talking like falling in love is more of like it's happening without thought versus being in love is like actively choosing every day.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Like falling, it just seems like it's out of your control. Like you said, like chaotic. Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Do you have any other questions that you want to go over?
I think we're gonna, like we said before, we're probably gonna do one that's more alcohol induced later on. That's gonna be more variable, but I think that's really good for relationships. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We hope that you go do some hard shit today. And you can find our Instagram page. It is Start to Be Great Podcast, or mine is Amuricana, AMURICANNA. Mine is Kimmy_Croson. And we will see you guys next Monday at 6 a.m. Why so early? Because we're fucking sharks, and sharks don't give a damn that it's Monday. Yep.